Okay, so I'm going to do a quick video tutorial on how to create an assessment item in Mobius. So the first thing that you're going to do is go to your home page for your Mobius class and then select Content Area. So once you have selected Content Area, you're going to create a new unit right on the bottom of this lessons and assignments page. And please notice that I have already created a new unit, which I've entitled Quizzes and Tests. And so on the right, you can see that that is where I'm working. So I'm under Quizzes and Tests. And you can also see that I've created a couple of quizzes already and a test as well. So I'm going to hit Create New, and then I'm going to select Assignment. And then the assignment name is simply the quiz. And then this is for lessons 3.3 and 3.4. Now don't hit save yet. What you want to do is then select your questions. And then I'm going to create a new question. And then this opens up my content area. And for the content name for each question, that's going to be more like your topic or objective. So my first one is from lesson 3.3, which is area or total price. So then I'm going to go to my Word document, which is the piece of information I was going to give my students, paper and pencil, if we actually had regular classes in class. So I'm selecting that question, and then I need to get rid of the automatic numbering, so I'm going to just hit cut and recopy in. Okay, and then I'm ready to add the first part of this question. So my first part is how many gallons of paint will she need? And no, you can't buy a partial gallon of paint. So I'm copying that, and I'm also noticing that question number 1 has a total of 5 points, and the first problem is worth 2 points. So I'm going back to my document, and this is where we're going to insert a response area so that the students actually can answer. And response area is right here. And notice there's different types of questioning that we can choose, such as essay or multiple choice, numeric, true, false, etc. Now this has a numeric answer. Now this is where you actually can input the weight of this question. So it's worth 2 points out of 5. We'll deal with the 5 in a minute. And then the numeric part is the actual answer, which is 3. And notice on the bottom, absolute accuracy. So we're not going to accept any other answer. So we're going to insert that. And then notice where my cursor is. So I'm going to select enter. And then part B of this is how much will it cost her to paint the room? And I've asked my students to round their answer to the nearest cent. And then I've already done the key for this. This is also a numeric answer. Notice that's worth 3 points. And the numeric answer is $71.25. Now notice I did not put the $sign, but we can accept the $sign. That way if students do put it in, it won't reject it. And then I'm going to insert that. Now I'm done with this question. So again, I'm not going to hit the save button on the bottom. I'm hitting the save button right here, the save icon. And that opens up the navigation area for this question. And that's where I put the total points, so it knows how to weight this. So it's worth 5 points. And then I'm going to add a new question. And this is a review of dimensional analysis. And I actually have 2 questions to help them remember how to use dimensional analysis, because it is definitely an area where students tend to struggle. So I'm going back to my document, and I know right here that Mobius won't accept this equation, so I'm going to write that equation on my own. And so I'm going to copy and paste. And I also want to go back and copy this. And then I'm going to insert my equation. So my equation editor, sometimes you have to, fudge along. So I think that this fraction button, we're looking at more of a calculus situation, but I can just type over. So 5,280 feet per 1 mile. And then times, and I'm going to continue along. Okay, so I finished that and press done. Okay, so the initial velocity of the car is given as 20 miles per hour. What would the velocity be in feet per second? And we're asking them to simplify to 1 decimal place and include units. It is amazing that students still struggle even if the dimensional analysis work is given for them. So I'm really just trying to make sure that they understand how to use these multiple fraction dimensional analysis expression. So I'm looking for them to be able to write the amount, and the answer was 29.3, but that's a numeric response area. And then this was worth 2 points total, but I'm looking for both the answer as an amount and then the units as well. So the units were feet per second. And I just recognize I need that as 2. And that is done. So it says numeric with units. And then this is done, so I'm going to save it. And 2. And then I'm going to add another question. And I'm going to do another review. And I'm going to write this. So for the next question, I'm not giving them the dimensional analysis work. What I am trying to do is make sure that they're understanding that they can take that information and segue to the next one. So 29.3 was the answer. So 58.6 doubled. Okay, and with units. Okay, and I'm going to make sure I say round to the nearest tenth and include units. All right, so I'm saving that, and that's our second review. Okay, so I'm going to add in another question, but I'm going to do that very quickly and so that we can get into the second part of this. Okay, so I took some time away from the video just to import all of that information, and then because the equation editor is a bit difficult to navigate for students here, I'm actually going to make the answer to part A, where they're asked to simplify the formula based on gravity, a coefficient of friction of 0.85 and a roadway grade of 0.12. I'm going to actually choose for my response area multiple choice. And then the weighting of this question was 4. And then I'm going to select a few for them. I'll come back. Okay, so I came up with 3 different choices thinking about common mistakes that students make, either choosing the wrong G, because there's a little g and there's a big G, or not recognizing that the F plus G needs to be added first before you multiply, so order of operation issues. So the next thing that you'll notice with multiple choice, when you hit next, you have to let the program know which one is actually correct. So I'm choosing the correct one, which is number 1, and insert. And so this part is complete. Okay, and then we need to add the second part of this. So I'm looking for the correct values for braking distance in the table below for the conditions in part A, and asking them to round to the nearest 1/10 of a foot. And then this is a nice example of where you can put in a table. And so the table I have here had, let's see, 4 rows and 2 columns. And so the first one, and I'm trying this actually to see if this is going to work. Okay, that was great. And then I think I had 20, 40, whoops. And 120. And then response area. That was 2 points. 25.6. Oops, I have to correct. 102.5. I just realized I wanted 40, 80, and 120. And response area. Okay. And then I have one last question. And response area, and this was only worth 1 point, and the answer is 4. Okay, so my quiz is finally done in terms of being built. I just now need to save this question, and also remember that this has a total point value of, I believe, 10. I'm going to double check that to make sure. So 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There we go. Alrighty, so now this quiz is done, so we're actually ready to save it and close. So we're saving it. And then the next thing that we want to do is actually set our policies. So you do so under Edit, and you treat this as normal. So for right now, all I'm going to do with this is I'm actually going to hide it because I don't want my students to mistakenly go in and work on it. So just make sure that you understand that once you create it, if you don't set your policies immediately, they will start working on it if they see it. The other thing that you can do with this is you can share it. So if you ever create an item and you want to share it, let me know if you'd like some help learning how to share it. Good luck.